Bro, we got smashed. Bro, we got smashed. Bro, we got smashed, bros, though.
3, 2, 1, go!
What's up, people? It's your boy Levelhead back with another live and leveled gamers podcast. I have the crew here. Mr. Norris will be jumping on here shortly. He's having some technical difficulties, but I do have K-Bum20 on here with me. What's up, bro?
Man, what it do, man? It's been a fun week. I'm excited.
Oh yeah, we not gonna be talking about a whole lot tonight. I think one thing takes precedence over everything else. So we're gonna talk about Sony's reveal of what was rumored to be on Tuesday actually came to the forefront, and now we have the details of the PlayStation 5 Pro, or as some say, professional, and that price at $699, discless, standless. Man, this is an issue. What's up, Nia? Welcome to the show. So we're gonna talk about that. We also gonna touch on Microsoft, not to be left out of the discussion. They said, no, Sony, as they always do, we cannot let you have this negative moment to yourself. We gotta upstage you. We gotta upstage that $699. Do you think Sony has something on Microsoft that forced, like, hey, we need y'all to go ahead and get us out this ditch. We're gonna send them pictures out. Phil, go ahead and announce some layoffs. I'm gonna send these pictures out. You think they got something to You think they got something on them?
No, man, Microsoft is just the hit that keeps on hitting, bro.
So we are here, man, a little tired. So I don't plan. I don't know what's going on, but yeah, I don't plan to be here super long. Now we ain't got a lot to talk about. We hoping that Nintendo finally, at this point, the sky is open. Like, if there has never been a better opportunity for Nintendo to take over and make this their moment, what Sony just did, what Microsoft just did, Nintendo, all you gotta do is come in, show the goods, have a decent price, and it's the 8th gen. What was it, 8th or 7th gen? Which gen are we in now? 9th gen? This 9th gen right now?
I don't know. I don't keep up with the numbers,
the
bro.
Xbox One, PlayStation 4, when, Xbox came out with their price, and then PlayStation came behind them and said that other price, and that just pretty much done it for Mike. That killed Microsoft. Nintendo, all you got to do is come in and say, our next system, the NS2, DLSS, pushing and punching above his weight, $399. It's over. It's over! Anyway, yeah. So, we got DJ Fanatic in the building. What's up, Mr. Fanatic?
What up, DJ? DJ. That's my DJ.
My control board is acting up for whatever reason. It won't work right. But anyway. So, yeah, go ahead and stop clapping. Yeah, so we are here. I'm trying to give Mr. Norris a little bit more time. Is there anything else, K-Bum, that you want to bring to the table and discuss while we wait for Mr. Norris to pull in and walk the red carpet?
No, I don't got too much. As I find it's just weird to me, man, that they announced this thing. What's that? 2 months before it comes out. It's just, I don't know. It's different. Game is different nowadays, man. It's the hype is 9-minute video just recording finished. So it's weird to me. But no, I I'm just excited to talk about this topic. If you want to be 100, I want to get it in. I've been chomping
Yeah.
at the bit since what, Tuesday when it was announced. Was it Tuesday?
Right. It was Tuesday.
It was Tuesday. Man,
Tuesday,
I've been
10
bro.
10 a.m. Central Standard Time. I remember because I was at work watching it on the big screen, and I was like, Mark
Bro,
Cerny, if you don't get your robotic
sleepy,
Astrobot,
sleepy Joe.
is he Astrobot's cousin or something? Like, I'm like, you Astrobot got more life than his brother.
That's what game? Knock. What was that game that he helped produce? Knock with the robot that reassembled Knack. Yeah,
Yeah,
he the reassembling Knack.
So we got a lot to discuss on tonight. So what we gonna do is
I did have one more piece. Hold on. I did have one more piece.
I
I did get a chance. I see him in the chat. What's up, Mr.
That's what I was
D2K?
about
I
to say.
did get a
Shout out
chance
D2K.
to check out his article.
Go ahead. My bad.
No, I said I did get a chance to check out to read a little bit of D2K's article that he put up on the PlayStation Pro. He put it out there on Twitter. I got a chance to read a little bit of it, man. The man got man ought to break things down. So I appreciate his knowledge.
Send it to the chat room. Send it to the chat. We can give him his kudos live on air. Because all we talking about is this PlayStation 5 Pro $699. Woo! I got a lot to say. Anyway, I got a lot to say about this. It don't affect me because I was never getting it in the first place, but I do think this has some serious some serious things that can possibly be bridged from this that can affect gaming as a whole. And
yeah, there's some threads that can be drawn from here. I agree with that.
Yeah, there's some things that I think. There he is. There you go. He showed up, y'all. Welcome to the show. We got our buddy up here now. Mr. Norris is in the building. What's up, Norris?
What happened to my computer over there?
Oh, that PlayStation. Sony don't want you to talk about this $699, man. They don't want you to talk about this professional. The PlayStation 5 professional.
His computer got let go like all them too soon.
Anyway.
All them Microsoft employees.
My 4K monitor didn't turn on.
All right, so we got the full crew here. We about to go into what you've been gaming on. This is nothing but mostly PlayStation discussion tonight. We're gonna touch on the layoffs, but Microsoft been doing that so much. We're just gonna pray for those who are affected. I think they have something on feel that Sony's like, okay, we put this announcement out and it's not going well, so we need y'all to go ahead and say something to get us out this heat.
Lighten the load.
Yeah, I'm gonna send these pictures to your wife, Phil. So you better make it happen. Send these pictures, these compromising pictures that we got of you over a few years ago, because Phil don't let them have no moment to themselves. It's like as soon as Sony does something bad, here come Phil like, me too. Let me get a little bit. We got more to
hold my beer.
So we're gonna get into what you've been gaming on. I gotta talk about this Astrobot. And then we're going to get into this PlayStation. So it's a PlayStation night. Hopefully next week is all Nintendo. Let's go. Yeah. You know what time it is. It's time for What Have You Been Gaming On? Sing it, folks. Let's go. Hey. What you been gaming on? 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 Gaming on, gaming on, gaming on. Okay, so I already see somebody in the chat, Miss Nia, who loves her song, is already saying, I've been gaming on Paper Mario and Emio. Oh, we're gonna talk about that tonight, because I think somebody else got that as one of the games that they've been playing is Emio. So who wanna go first? Who wants to go first?
I can start it off.
Go ahead, Mr. Norris.
All right. So first of all, I feel weird talking. I'm using my work mic.
Oh, feel like work?
You sound
it feels
right,
like
though.
work.
You sound okay.
No, it's a good mic. It's a jobber. But I just feel weird being in this setup. I'm just not gonna lie to you. But I'm gonna try to keep it, keep it gaming. Emio, it's the game I've been playing. I'm the guy he's talking about. I'm the mystery
It's
man.
me.
It's me. I have been playing Emio. I am on chapter 11. I'm not sure how many chapters there are, but it's getting creepy. It's gotten creepy. It's gotten spooky. I can't believe Nintendo has convinced me to play a graphic novel, but I am enjoying myself. I've learned how to have the conversations on the game, because you have to say certain things, and they'll say certain clues, and you got to pick up on them, and then you got to not necessarily ask a question, but you got to choose the right thing, like observations.
So like LA Noir?
No, not to that extent. No.
Oh, okay.
LA Noir, you picking up on facial expressions and
All right.
doing things like that. And you can get it wrong. With Emio, I don't think you can get it wrong. I think you'll get it wrong, but then they'll just keep moving on with the story.
Right.
There was something that happened last night where it was like a game over, but I don't want to spoil that for somebody whenever they get to that part. But just been gaming on Emio. Haven't really had time to get back on Ghost of Tsushima, and with my monitor not working, I don't want to play on 1080p. So we'll see how this works.
I don't wanna.
We'll see how this works out.
So Emio, so
funny.
are you saying that Emio is a good purchase?
For me, yeah.
Look, what you trying to say? You trying to say I'm not I don't have the palate. I don't have the reach to enjoy such gaming, Keith. Is that what you're trying to? I'm gonna use one of the D2K words. Insinuate up in here.
I'm not insinuating nothing, brother. That's exactly what I'm saying, brother. No, I'm just playing.
Matt Jazz 47. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show, bro. So Emio. So Nia, we need to know how you feel about the Emio. Keith has let us know that. I guess I'm not. What's the word? I'm not. You had to be of a certain ilk and certain.
No.
No. You said it. No. Let's get this on out here. I'm not sophisticated enough. I'm not sophisticated enough to enjoy such a what's the word? Acquired experience. I was going to get it too based on what you were saying, but I'm offended. I'm gonna stick with this old Astrobot, this typical this basic old school tried and true. Anyway, I'm messing with you, Keith. Your floor, K-Bump.
Oh, that was quick. I wasn't ready for the flip. No, so what I've been gaming on, I put to the side. I haven't played Stellar Blade this week. I haven't played Overwatch this week. Haven't played Madden. I've been strictly focusing on the new 2K. So I'm trying to grind my player, get his stats up. So the majority of my gaming has been that. They definitely made it a little bit harder to shoot in this 2K. So I'm spending some time in the lab and on the court trying to get my skills up so I can produce at my high quality self. Then playing a little bit of NCAA in the midpoints, but that's pretty much it. Just some 2K, mostly 80-90% 2K, sprinkled in there with a little NCAA. So that's pretty much real quick summary because I want to get into these topics. What I've been gaming on.
Okay,
no Astrobot from K-Von, no platformer.
Excuse me.
Yeah,
no platformer from K1, no Astrobot.
The new goodness.
It's new PlayStation goodness right now. What's going on?
Go ahead, Level. You good, man?
Keith, ain't it funny that K-Bone can be extra dismissive when it comes to platforms, even when it's on the
Man,
PlayStation.
nah, he just
At
being
least he
consistent.
consistent. I give him that. He consistent. So as
It's
you
boring.
know, last week a thing happened on Friday, a game that I have been anticipating. A matter of fact, I've been rallying for Sony to invest more money into this character to give him a actually full-fledged game. And from the demo experience that really was the tipping scale, D2K, you'll be proud of me right now. The tipping scale that launched and projected me into the eureka moment that caused me to dispense coin. Let me stop.
This dude is
Saying
on one.
words now.
I'm trying to sound like that
Right?
dude.
Just putting words together.
I'm trying to sound like Damian Wayans when he was on Living Color when he'd be in prison trying to talk deep. But yeah, that the demo is what made me want the PlayStation 5 along with Miles Morales. It was actually this game that made me get it. Miles Morales was the icing. This was the experience I wanted to experience with the haptic feedback. And it was everything that I thought. So from that experience, y'all heard me come on this platform many podcasts ago and many times on the podcast and sing the praises of Astrobot. Being a Nintendo guy who loves the Marios, the Donkey Kongs, all the platforming goodness that Nintendo provides, I felt at home with Astrobot. So I was looking forward and was hoping that Sony would see a gold mine, a treasure, something with tremendous potential. And I think they did. And of course, we dealt with the reviews last week. Now it's time for you to get my review. So real quick, let me say this off rip. Now, there's been a lot of, I would say, misplaced praise. Now, so listen close. The game is everything that they're saying it is. I'm pretty much closing in on the second boss, which is the octopus. And so I played through basically two full level, well, each level has about 4 to 5, each boss has about 4 to 5 levels in each, and I played through all of them of two, I guess, I don't know what you call it, stages or worlds or whatever. But so far the game is good. I would say it kind of started off a little slow. It doesn't, in that sense, it doesn't match what you typically experience with a 3D Mario at the launch. Like Mario really pulls you into the new world, the new experience and all that. Astrobot kind of starts slow in pace and kind of dismal. This is me playing right here. So let me go ahead and let y'all see this. This is me playing. So this is the opening credits. This is how it kind of starts. And I'm pretty sure if you've been watching other folks play this game, you've already seen all this. But
well, DJ Fanatic said he was watching you live playing it.
DJ Fanatic was watching me. Okay, yeah, he said I watched you play at live level. You got some skills. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. It's Nintendo. It's the roots. They go deep. As you can see. So the game is not challenging me just as of yet, but it's getting there. It's starting to get really, really good. But I'm gonna say this: those who are trying to say that Astrobot, remember I asked the question, will Astrobot out-platform Mario? I'm going to say no. It is not the platformer that Mario is. It's not Galaxy in the platforming. So I believe that whole notion or that I feel like is misrepresented what makes Astrobot great and why it is deserving to be up there with Mario. And I think people saying it's better than Mario, and I don't agree with that. It's not as a platformer. It's a great platformer. It's not that great. What makes Astrobot stands out, and no, it's not biased. I'm not biased. It's not a bias, Nia. I'm just telling the truth. Astrobot is not the platformer that Mario is. Mario is too acrobatic. Mario do too many things that Astrobot just can't do, like jump off walls, double jump, backflip, ground stump. It's not in that. It's not doing none of that. What sets it apart from Mario is the power-ups and the creative way you are able to use these power-ups throughout the game. The second thing is the visual candy that you get in this game from boss encounters. There was one stage I was going to play it and show y'all, but I was like, Keith might want to see this for himself. But it's a stage where you fighting. Basically, it's the first boss you fight, and when you get to this particular stage, he literally leaps out from the screen and land, and it looks like something. It's just immersive, and the physics, like what you run on, how it feels different from sand to water, to ice to metal. It really uses the haptic feedback. It's a great game. It's just not the platformer that Mario is, but it outduels Mario in a lot of other areas that Mario just doesn't compete, like with the sensitivity of the haptic feedback and how it plays into the game with discovering things and the puzzles and finding these other bots and how they're strategically and cleverly hitting that throughout the world. Is punching in another way that Mario doesn't punch, that is distinct from Mario and deserves the respect to stand alongside of Mario while not being, to me, on par with the platformer that Mario is. It's just not there. I won't even say it's Donkey Kong in the platforming. But that's me as a Nintendo guy who has a lot of time with platformers. Astrobot is not that. It's up there. It's in the ballpark. It's respectable. It deserves, but it's hitting everywhere else. And that's what sets it apart. That's what gives it its thing. The bosses, the different the ways it's just going about what it's doing. It's great. It's a great game. I'm enjoying it. Like I said, it started off a little slow. I was a little concerned. I was like, man, and I'll say this, the music does not do it. I'm sorry. The music is not there, but everything else is there. The platform, and I would say if Mario is a 9, 10, Astrobot is an 8, 9.
I was hearing the opposite. I was hearing people were loving the music.
No, the music is so far. Now, like I said, I'm on the octopus is the boss I'm about to fight.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
So how are the bosses set up? Are they beat a world, fight a boss, or you beat a world, then you fight a boss? Like, how are the bosses set up?
So this is what makes this so good. There are bosses, and then there's the main boss, and sometimes the boss that you fight feels like a main boss, and it's not. So Nia's talking to me. That's why I was stopping, because Nia was asking me questions while I was playing. So I didn't have my earphones on, so I had to hook up the microphone so I can speak to Nia as she was passing around the offering plate. I was trying to make sure she was good. So that's why I had to stop. So anyway, the boss battles are think 3D World. Remember how creative the boss battles in 3D World were? Like, to me, 3D World bosses were the best bosses in Mario, to me, is in 3D World. These bosses are that and better. So, like, Nintendo wouldn't do it. Okay, 3D World and Galaxy is where I would say the boss levels are, but they're better because they require you to do a lot more than just jump on head, dodge, jump on head. Like, one boss I had to fight is so large that you can't jump on. You got, if you play Astrobot, you have experienced that. The first boss, you experienced that several times in Astrobot demo. The second boss which was a mini boss. It wasn't a main boss, and it came out of nowhere. And you see this boss in trailers, where you see this big old thing stand up and kind of walk across, and it looks like a pirate. That boss, it only takes one shot, but it's getting up there to do it. What you have to do to get up there to do it. It's not hard. It's just not what you typically experience with Mario type bosses. They don't require you to do it. This kind of feels like almost like what you do in Sony type games that are more action based, and I'm trying to think of like Devil May Cry, that type of stuff. The boss felt like one of those type of bosses in a platformer, and you got to climb up, you got to dodge all this to get up to the top to make your strike, and it's forcing you to use the haptic feedback. It's forcing you to do all those things that if you don't get it right, you get thrown off of them. It doesn't. So it's like, you remember the game on PlayStation, K-Bum, you talked about it, where you go fight all the Titans. What is that game? It looks like, it's kind of like Zelda. It puts you in the mind of Zelda in look, but you just fighting Titans, big Titans. It was some of the Colossus, something like that.
Shadow of Colossus.
Shadow of Colossus. And you remember how, Cable, you had to climb up.
I was on mute. I said it. I was on mute.
Yeah, okay. I was like, K-Bum noticed. So Shadow of Colossus. Shadow of Colossus, the boss that I'm referring to is like that, one of those bosses. Or something you would play in what's the game from Tecmo, Darksiders. Those them type of boss fight where you had to climb up the leg and jump on the back and get up to the top. Now, don't get me wrong, Mario does have some bosses like that, but it didn't feel quite like this. So the bosses I can already tell the boss is gonna be over the top. They already over the top. The worlds are great. The visual representation, the presentation here is just freaking top notch. The bells and the whistles and the glows and the neon lights and the sparkles and I think it has some ray tracing in here. It's there. You know, it's all there. It's just, only thing is lacking is just not quite the platformer that Mario is. It's basic in the platformer jump, flood, jump, and put on your float. That's it. But all the power-ups is what make it unique. And it's got some great power-ups and some great ideas. So I'm going to say it's absolutely deserving of the praise that it's getting. I think some are going a little bit overboard and doing the game a disservice by making such a strong comparison to Mario. I don't think it's fair to Astrobot. I think Astrobot deserves his own space and deserves his own respect, exclusive from Mario, while also paying homage to many of the influences that is clearly drawn from Nintendo platformers and other games like ARMS and stuff like that. It's a lot of stuff in here you're going to clearly make a connection to Nintendo. Not to say that it may have its origin there, it may have its origin somewhere else, and Nintendo borrowed it. But most people are came more acquainted with those features from Nintendo titles. But for me, Astrobot is amazing. It's definitely, I would give it a 9. It's up there. It's definitely good.
I'm curious because I've seen some stages that, you know, pays super homage to the PlayStation IP, and I'm just curious if you played those stages.
Yes, I played one with the monkey chase. What they call that game? Where you got to chase the game that you chase monkeys in to catch them.
Monkey Ball? Monkey Ball?
Was it Monkey
No,
Ball?
that's Sega.
That's not Monkey Ball. It's another game. Monkey Escape, something like that, I think.
Monkey Escape. That sounds right.
Yeah.
So you actually become that person, and you have to go around. And that's what makes this different. And you get this honing device, because you're a robot, so your home device turn on, and you can hear, and as you walk around, you feel it in the controller. As you're getting closer, like what's the hide and seek, hot cold, like what's that game where you be like, you're getting hotter, colder, hotter, and they tell you until you get to you hot, it's hot, hotter, hot, until you get to whatever you're looking for. It has that, but you feel it in your controller and you hear it, and they are. Let me say this. All the stuff, I hate to say this, but it's the truth. all the stuff that Sony fans have always clowned Nintendo for is on steroids in this game. I had to blow on the controller.
Oh no.
Pause.
I had to on the controller.
Pause.
And I ain't pausing. I had to on the controller. Remember y'all clown Nintendo for that? I had to stir
boy.
to the left for gyro controls and a lot of motion control. Like I said, all the stuff that Nintendo got clowned for, fans got clowned for being Nintendo fans, all that kiddie childish is in this game in absolute droves. And I love every minute of it. Every absolute minute of it. So, Keith, you would absolutely love this game. Yes, it starts off slow. It starts off pedestrian. Yes, it does. But I think it was just tutorials. These were just tutorial stages getting you familiar with the controls and the concept of what you got to do. Find these bots, rescue them, and all that. So the first stage is kind of slow and kind of, but as it opens up, and there's a lot I'm not saying because I believe it's going to come to PC, and I don't want to spoil it from Keith. But the game is good. Visually, this is where Mario's going to struggle. Mario cannot do this stuff visually. Hopefully with the NS2 they can, but that's the difference. The power-ups make sense, unlike Mario Wonder, where you had a lot of power-ups that was pointless. I'm to tell you the truth. The power-up I use in Mario Wonder the most is the fire flower.
Not the first power-up you ever get in
That's
Mario.
right.
Ever.
And that should tell you how useless all the other power-ups are. The elephant really serves no purpose. Bubble Man really serves no purpose. So I like using the spinner. The drill is dope, and the fireballs, and that's all you need. So in that sense, to me, this is more like Mario 3, where you could turn all the stuff, and like Odyssey. Odyssey power-ups, made a lot of sense. So with that being said, it is excellent. Everything that's been said about it, absent, minus the whole better than Mario, is true. It's not better than Mario. I'm not going that far. It's just not so far. Now,
but you know what? I want to say this though. If somebody felt that way, if they felt like Astrobot was better, I wouldn't be mad at the thought. First of all, the last one that we got was Mario Odyssey, which was in 2017.
Yeah,
and Astrobot should be leaps and bounds better than that, especially since they're drawing so much inspiration. However, they're doing different stuff. They're doing unique stuff that Mario doesn't do. So, because like when I saw you do that one stage where you had to run across the bottom and figure out which stone to push, I thought that was really unique.
Yeah,
something I ain't never did in a Mario game. Not saying it's not possible, but I think Astrobot is doing some out of the box thinking. I think it should definitely get the praise that it's getting. I think it looks great. Some of the stuff that I saw paying homage to those Sony games. I don't know if you got to this one that I'm thinking about that I think is going to blow your mind when you see it. Yes, I've been spoiled a little bit. And I want to see more. I want to see how far they went with that. And I think Astrobot is definitely deserving of all the praise that it's getting, even though I haven't played it.
What's up to the show, Alan Steve? Let me answer these questions. Then we're gonna he said I'm getting a PlayStation 5 Pro first day. you mortgaging your house? No, it's fake. So let me answer some of these questions. So D2K Prime said Astrobot sounds like its own thing that shouldn't be compared to Mario. I'm not gonna say that. It definitely should be compared to Mario. It shouldn't be helped to it shouldn't be overly helped to that. It is its own thing, but it's got too many Mario influences.
It shouldn't be held hostage.
Yes, there you go.
By not being Mario.
By not being Mario. And that's where I would say, so yes, it should be compared. They're stroking similar cards, but just in different ways. I'm not pausing, man. I'm not. So Nia said, let me see. So Nia said, Astrobots feel more like an adventure game than a platformer. No, it is a platformer. It's just not Mario. Mario is a acrobatic. Mario, just look at the game. Look at what I'm doing. All he can do is run, jump, float. There's no black flip. There's no long distance jump. There's no cartwheels. That's what makes Mario Mario. I ain't jumping off no walls. I ain't double jumping and flipping back and stumping the ground. I'm punching. I'm kicking. So it's more like platformer punch, like beat 'em up. It's enough to be a platformer with some punching to be kind of have some beat 'em upness to it. So that's what it is. It's like go to Mario 64, take the punching away, and then go to 3D World and take all the flipping away. That's what it is. That's one thing I don't like about 3D World is the fact that Mario is not as acrobatic as he typically is. You're limited. And that's Astrobot. So in his limit, it's like 3D World and how Mario has been kind of grounded. And I would say Astrobot is left to that because even in 3D World, Mario still got some acrobaticness to him. Astrobot doesn't. You got Flood, so you got the Flood and you got a jump and you got the 64 punching. That's Astrobot. Take Flood, take the 64 punching, and take the jump, and you basically got the basics. That's basic Astrobot's control scheme. Then you add all the power-ups like what you're seeing. You get the orange power-up, you get boost, rocket boost. That's what changes the game. But this doesn't hurt because it works for what Astrobot is doing. It's what you're doing in the game that sets it apart from Mario. Not the platforming. It's not on the level of platforming that Mario is. It's what it's doing and how it's using the and placing things in the game that makes it unique. And like and how you got to find these dudes all over the place, and they cleverly hidden throughout the world, and you got to find them. And I've been, I don't want to leave until I find all of them. So it kind of puts a pressure on you. Unlike a star, I look up there, I'm like, I can't get to that star, I don't care. But I don't want to leave none of my buddies behind. This is almost like Pikmin. I don't want nobody to die. I gotta find you. So
good luck with that.
Yeah, so that's how it feels. But anyway, it is a good game. I mean, it deserves all the accolades. I would say it's definitely a game of the year contender. I haven't played anything this year that's better. Just gonna be honest. I haven't played nothing better than this. I would say maybe a contender may be Hell Diver, just because of the phenomenon it was for the season it was. But other than that, it's Astrobot. I don't think nothing else came out this year that's even close. So, yeah, that's my take on it. Anything else? Any other questions? I want to make sure I got all the questions down there.
I did have a question for y'all. I think I know Keith's answer, but I would like to know your answer, Level.
Yeah.
Did y'all even finish Wonder?
So let me answer. Let me answer first. Okay. I enjoy Wonder.
Mm-hmm.
I do. But I would say that's one of them seasons where Nintendo may have gave us something we didn't want and we really didn't want it. I enjoy Wonder because I'm a Mario guy and I like 2D Mario. And Wonder is enough of a shift and difference that gives me joy. I just really don't want to play a 2D game. I don't want to play 2D Mario. I want another Galaxy. I want something like, and that's why Astrobot I want this. And
scratching the itch.
Yeah, it's scratching the itch that Wonder, that wasn't what I wanted. And even though it's a great game. Now, Keith, I let Keith answer for him, but
yeah.
So
let me say this before I answer that question because you know the answer. But you remember when we was looking at it, that second trailer, and I was like, I got some concerns. When I saw it, I was because the first time we was like, oh, this looks interesting because they had the little Elephant Mario, and that's all they gave us. And then they showed it to us again. And I was like, I don't know if I'm feeling it. I got some concerns, and Mario Wonder was a concern. So no, I didn't finish it. I got bored. As K-Bon calls it, sleepy gameplay. It got some sleepy game. It had some sleepy gameplay for me. I wasn't feeling it. I wasn't feeling it as an avid Mario player. I don't mind 2D, but they just haven't touched Super Mario World, and I don't know if they could ever go back to that level of 2D Mario. But yeah, it wasn't it. That wasn't it. As Nia said in the chat, Super Mario Wonder was not it.
Yeah, I would say it got redundant. It was like the thing that made it dope. They overused it. The Wonder became overplayed in Wonder. Like finding the Wonder Flower and the whole stage flip up. After a while, it got old. You know what I'm saying? And I think it may be a little longer than it needs to be. It's kind of outstanding as welcome. Because I went through a lot of stages, and typically you'll be at the final boss by now, and I ain't even halfway through. I think I'm right at halfway through Wonder, and I just grew tired of. It's just too many stages for a 2D platform. It's just too many stages, and but it's a good game to me. I'm not kind of in the same boat as Keith, but I did stop playing. That is the truth. So I can't fight too hard because
I thought you beat it though.
No, I'm at Cooper for the first. I'm fighting Cooper for the first time, and this is not the end. So it resets, and I gotta go find 6 more of them flowers or whatever they are, to remove the rest of the piranha away from around them. So I'm halfway through. I already know where I'm at. I know how Nintendo works. I'm halfway through. And that was a lot of stages to get halfway through. I played a lot of stages that typically, like Mario U, or is that what it was called? New Super Mario.
I didn't play it.
New Super Mario I would be probably on the stage before the last stage at the amount of stages I played in Wonder. At least that's how it feels. It just feels like it's outstanding as welcome.
It's not big.
Yeah, it's big,
it's
and it's just a little too much for a 2D Mario. It's too much, for me, the stages are not unique enough to warrant this many stages. So, and that's what I'm kind of concerned with this game. There's a lot of stages in Astrobot, and I know I haven't gotten to the best ones, but I'm wondering, can it keep it up over that many stages? So we'll see. But so far, so good. I'm enjoying it. It's dope. But anyway, let's get to the main topic. So we
one more point.
Oh man, we're trying to get to this professional.
I know. I'm just saying, it's gonna be real quick. A lot of people say, this ain't Mario or better than Mario, but it sounds like everyone compares it that it's not better than the best Mario, but it's still better than Mario's. And that's the point I'm just quickly trying to say, because ain't neither one of y'all finished that game.
Well, no, I wouldn't compare this to 2D. That's a 2D game. I wouldn't compare this one.
I'm comparing it to Mario. It's still Mario now.
Well, let me explain.
I know 3D, 2D.
Let me explain.
I know 3D, 2D is a difference. I understand that.
Right.
I get it.
If we're going to go 3D Marios, I'm going to say this is, okay, Sunshine is better. To me, this is better than Sunshine, but it borrows a lot of elements from Sunshine, but it's better than Sunshine. It's, to me, this is their 64 Mario. And that's one of the greatest Marios ever made. I would say Odyssey is equal to 64. Galaxy breaks the mold. Galaxy is the deal. Galaxy was on another thing. And yeah, I would put this one up there with 64 Mario. And right under Galaxy, right under Odyssey, not quite Galaxy. To me, and I'll let Keith answer that too. I don't think it's Galaxy. Galaxy just does too much. It's just, Galaxy is a whole nother thing. Odyssey is like a return to 64 Mario with all the new power-ups and bells and whistles, and taking you kind of out, kind of going farther with that. And that's why I would say this game finds itself in between Odyssey and 64. It's definitely better than Sunshine. I think Nintendo should probably bring back Flood, but probably too late because Astrobot doing it. But this is Flood power up, and it makes me feel like Flood I'm playing with Flood, but it's up there with the top tier Mario's, but it's not better than either one of them, in my opinion. But I'm still early. That could change. So I'm saying thus far. Please note, thus far is not better than Odyssey.
It's going.
I'm not
change.
saying it can't.
Based on what I saw, it's going to change.
That's what I'm saying. I can see it. That's
question.
what I'm saying. Right now, it's not. I'm not saying I'm going to hold on to that. Go ahead.
I want to answer the question so we can move on to this PlayStation topic.
Yeah.
Listen, I love nostalgia. Mario 64 just does not feel good anymore. They have improved the controls. The platforming is so much tighter in the later games, starting with Sunshine. So for me, I don't even hold 64 up there like that. It's good though. It started it all for us, and that's no disrespect, but I think in the way that they came out. Did we get one? Oh, we got 3D World. I don't count 3D World. I go 64, Sunshine, Galaxy 1, Galaxy 2, then Odyssey. That's all I count. I don't count 3D World in that same vein.
Mm-hmm.
The only one I would say will probably be on the bottom of the list was probably arguably the better one is Galaxy 2. I feel like Galaxy 2 was great. I think it was everything that Galaxy was, except been there, done that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was a been there, done that.
Two could have stayed where it was. They didn't need to bring us two. Or they could have gave us what they gave us in 2 and 1. But
right, it's actually could have just been DLC. I don't know why they just won't ever give us DLC for Mario. But when it comes to Odyssey, this is where the game changed because now you're collecting moons instead of stars. That's interchangeable in my opinion. But you're no longer having to leave the stage. Back in 64, you get a star, leave the stage, jump back in. Get a star, leave the stage, jump back in.
You doing that here too?
Odyssey. Are you?
Yeah. You leaving the stage to jump back in. Yes.
Oh no.
Yes.
See, with Odyssey, it's like you get one, keep moving. Get one, keep playing. You just get as much as you can.
No. Okay. I see what you're saying. No, you are correct. In finding the robot or the other bots, you stay in the stage until you can find them all.
Okay.
And then once you find them all, you get to the conclusion, which you see the flag, clearly Mario. Then you leave out to the hub world, and the controller is the ship that you're flying around on. But I'm going to say this, and then we got to go. I do see that this game is about to shift. I can feel it. I played these type of games enough to know, oh, yes, it's finna flip. And that's what I'm saying. At this point, I can't say it's better than Odyssey, but I can tell that it's finna make me question. So I'm ready for it. So we'll get there. But I'm definitely not biased. If it's better than Odyssey, I'm going to say it. You'll be the first here to hear me say it's better than Odyssey, y'all. Nintendo got some pressure on them. It's just not yet. But I'll put in about 5 hours, 6 hours. So that's not really a big palette and big enough to go off of. But it's enough to gauge that if it's good or not. And it's definitely deserving of all the praise that it's getting. It's just, to me right now, for what I have played, I can't give it that Odyssey blessing, that tip of the hat, sir. You did that, Mario. Yeah, he did that. But I can tell it's about to challenge me there. So it's about to make me question Mario, Tendo, new player in town, LeBron. No, it's playing. So anyway, are y'all ready to get into these topics? To this topic.
Yes,
all right. Go. So what all you guys are here for, you are here. You have shown up to talk about what took place this past Tuesday. As you know, we have all been anticipating the final reveal of the rumored mid-gen refresh, or what would you say, K-Bomb? what would you say? What would you call it? A bump in graphical fidelities from this new professional system. And of course, the noise was starting to build up, and things began to shift, and creators began to talk, and then out of nowhere, we got an announcement from Sony that on Tuesday, for you guys that lives over here in the Central Standard Time at 11 and or 10 a.m., 11 Eastern, and I don't know what out there in California, but you know what time it started for you, that you'll get to see this next thing from Sony. And of course, we got the presentation, and I'm about to pull it in here real quick. We're going to talk about it, but we got to see it. We got to see them demonstrate it. Mark Cerny talked, and he talked, and he looked, and his mouth moved, but his eyes stayed focused and fixed. I felt uncomfortable, kind of violated, but I fought through it and continued to watch. And they concluded. And I was like, oh, that wasn't bad. They couldn't really show a difference. I didn't really see it. I was squinting there. Okay, where? I could see a little bit more in the back. Okay, maybe that might be worth getting a better another system. Then they quickly, real quick, I mean, like President Trump real fast, beautiful, put that price up there and just skipped them by. And I knew they had screwed up. So, $699 for a discless, stainless, no games having PlayStation 5 Professional. So we got to talk. K-Bum, we need you tonight. This is your night. This your night, K-Bum. So I'm gonna pull this in. I know we gonna talk, Keith, but this K-Bum night, because I want to hear where this brother going. I want to see where he go with this, because I know K-Bum is the bells and whistles. Not that you're not Keith, but you got the PC, so you already in that world. I want to see what this brother says. Since he did buy the PlayStation 4 Pro, I'm curious about what K-Bum has to say. So we're gonna watch this, and I'm gonna let K-Bum take the floor. So this is the presentation. Let's go. It's 9 minutes long. We just gonna watch as K-Bum talks. There he is, Mark Cerny. Oh my God, look at this guy. He tries to do his best rendition of what Steve Jobs. He tries to imitate him well. It just doesn't work. But I like Mark Cerny. I've grown to like him. So K-Bum, the floor is yours.
Okay. If you gonna let me go first, just understand.
Now, wait, hold up. Wait a minute. Okay, Keith.
He jumping out the gate.
Wait a minute. Let me put K-Bum on the. You go back to the go back to the huddle. We gonna pull Keith in.
I'm back in the huddle. Trust me.
You go back to the dugout. You wait a minute. Foul on the play. Out the gate. Go sit down. Keith, the floor is yours, because I can already tell K-Bum gonna be talking for about 25 minutes straight. Go ahead, Keith.
No, listen, I'm not jumping out. This is K-Bum's night.
Okay.
I do want to say this. I'm glad you did give me a little bit of the floor. I'm just gonna say this. Normally we'll be chatting about it in the chat. We don't know what this brother about to say.
He didn't tell us nothing.
He said nothing. This man has been silent. I can't wait.
Dude, do you not know how much I've been at? I'm tired, yo. I'm tired. But I've been waiting on to hear what this dude got to say all week since that debut. He said I tried to goad him into saying it, and he didn't say. I was like, oh, it's gonna be good.
I definitely was trying to bait him. He wouldn't
come up off of it. I started throwing out stuff, trying to see if he'll fall for the bait. Didn't fall. I'm like, oh, it's gonna be good. I'm curious. We don't know where he's going. We have no idea if it's good, bad, indifferent, sad, upset. K-Bum, the floor is yours.
Let's get ready to rumble. Man, Sony. Okay. let's get into this. So I'm excited to talk about this. I even took notes. That's how excited I am to talk about this. This is the reveal of the PlayStation Pro. This is what Sony has had cooking.
Not the pro, the professional. Go ahead and put it on that digital foundry. Said the professional. Go ahead.
So this is the reveal of the PlayStation Pro that they have cooking. I ain't saying no professional. That they've had cooking for the past several months, year, that they've talked to developers, and this is what the developers say they want. That they want the big three. The big three. You heard that? You heard that? They said the marketing team said we gonna call this the big three. We gonna show them how we can upscale games with AI, how we can produce more power with a bigger with a GPU.
Yeah.
And what was the third part of the big three
The
was
PSS, the PSSR or
no, no,
DLSS.
that was the upscaling. That was the upscaling. That was
Yeah,
the
there it
upscaling.
is. All right,
Are you talking about
wait. Larger GPU. It's right here. I got it on the screen. Hold up. Let me go back.
Okay, thank
Larger
you, thank you.
GPU,
Mm-hmm.
advanced ray tracing, and
Advanced ray
all
tracing.
and AI driven upscaling.
Okay, that's the big three. Yes, sir. Sony done did it. They don't release you. They got a new console for you. They got something you to spend your money on. This is better than the PS5. And they have shown you that this is all they need to show you is three improvements, and that is enough for your money. And I'm here to tell you to say this, to Sony, look you dead in your eye and say you a fool. You have lost your mind. Okay,
PlayStation Spectral Super rescaling or resampling or something like
stop it,
that.
stop it, stop it, stop it.
I'm reading it real time, bro. PlayStation
Let,
PSRR
let's let's go.
Spectral
I'm in.
Super Resolution. There you go.
I'm in the pocket right now. Let me
All
get in
right.
the pocket.
All right. You got it.
Point number one: you are going to compare the PlayStation 5 Pro to the PS5 using a YouTube stream,
Mm.
and you expect me to see you going this minute difference that you showed me between the PS5 and the PS5 Pro, and that's gonna be enough to get my money? Bro, do you know it's not even the high quality? You know that YouTube rescales and resize and changes the bit rates and all that of this file. We don't the differences ain't that noticeable, especially when you hit us at the end with the price. And so here's my big thing. They showed us the PS5 Pro by showing us
Yes, boy.
old games. Old games. You want me to spend $700 so I can play the game that I've already played, but slightly better. That's what you selling me on. Because understand, the PlayStation Pro is not really for new PlayStation owners. The PlayStation Pro is really for those hardcore PlayStation gamers like K Bomb who loves graphics. I tell you, I love graphics. I the sweat on I can see the sweat beads on the
Pause.
basketball player when I'm
Pause.
hooping. I see.
Pause.
I ain't go that deep.
Pause. You trying to
I'm not
make
Shannon
me?
Sharp. I ain't talking about that.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Ooh,
Oh, yeah.
wait,
Let's not
caught us
go
straight.
there.
Caught us straight. Ocho.
Salute to you, sir. Shoot, Shannon wasn't mad at that leak
No,
at
he wasn't mad at
all.
that video now. So I want to see all the details. I want to see the individual strands of hair. I want to see the grass follicles growing. I want to see the textures on the clothing. I want to see all the graphics. And you gonna show me this on old games? And you think that's enough to make me spend my money? Uh, uh, point number one made me upset. Point number two to make me upset. You gonna tell me the selling point of the PS5 Pro is that we had an issue between performance mode and fidelity mode, and the majority of people who were smart gamers chose the better mode, which is this whatever is 60 frames per second. Forget all the graphics. If I can't play it smooth, I can't play the game. Forget all that 30 frames per second crap with ray tracing. Just give me a smooth 60 frames per second. It don't gotta be 4K. Just give it to me smooth, player. And you gonna point out as if that's the problem. And so you show me how we can play these performance modes in our fidelity modes, pretty much the fidelity mode or increase. I don't know which direction they took it, but we can play these in higher fidelity, higher frame rates, and even the fidelity mode. We can play these games without sacrifice. What do you think these developers gonna do? You are asking me to trust the developers that they're going to produce 60 frames per second on the high end. They're going to do what they always do. They're going to push the system, push the engine to its limit, so that it still runs at 30 frames per second.
Ding, ding,
You're
ding,
putting faith
ding.
in the it's not even truly the developer. Let's be completely honest. It is the game companies who are telling them that they won't see this, they want to see this, they want this to happen. They are going to push the PlayStation 5 Pro only if you have an agreement that it has to run 50 frames per second. Other than that, they're going to push it. And you know what's going to happen to the PlayStation 5 Pro games? They gonna end up running 30. They'll have two modes, one for 30 and one for 60. Especially when you're talking about this increase in ray tracing. Ray tracing is expensive. It's expensive. That's why the PS5 has only had it has to be selective in what it ray traces. It's not doing the full blown out ray trace that we're seeing PC. It's not doing all type of materials. It's not doing every type of shadow. It's not doing all the type of reflections. It stops at like two reflections because it's expensive. And if you open the gates and say, no, no, developers, look, all this extra you can do with ray tracing. You know what they're gonna do? They're gonna turn it all the way up until what? It's back down to 30 frames per second. Then what have we really accomplished here? I feel like I'm gonna slap yourself video. Let me get to my next point.
I already got it. I got you. They got to slap real quick. Go ahead.
Let me get to my next point. My next point:
Preach.
the PS4 Pro.
Professional.
We. If you don't stop, this ain't apples to apples, brother. The PS4 Pro, not like us, is what the PS4 Pro is saying right now. Not like they not like us. They not like us. Okay, let's set the stage of PS4 Pro. I told you I'm about to. I was chomping at the bit to get to this call, to get to this podcast, brother. The PS4 Pro debuted at $399 level. What price did the PS4 debut?
$399.
$399. What they do with the price of the PS4 level?
They dropped it to $299.
They dropped it to $299, and they made it easier for me to buy the PS4 Pro. So guess what I had? Had me a PS4 Pro. Actually, sold my PS4 to a homie for like $100 because that was my homie. I ain't gonna charge you that much. Like $100. Here you go, brother. All the games and whatever you want. And I bought me PS4 Pro. But you got the nerve. You got the unmitigated gall to keep the PS5 at its current price, to even raise it up
Okay.
in Japan,
Controller.
and
Hit the
to
controller.
charge me
Hit the controller now. Don't forget about the
an
controller.
extra $200
Don't forget
for the
about the controller
PS5
now.
Pro.
Controller went up too.
Yeah, no, that's my next point. I'm gonna get to that. I ain't done yet.
Well, leave us some room now, K-Punk. Don't
Nah,
don't.
nah. I'm about to go for the next 45 minutes. Last 3 points, and I'm done. You have the nerve to charge me an extra $200. And so let's talk about what this extra $200 is. Let's talk about what it is. So you knew this was a bad decision. You know why? You know why? I know you knew this was a bad decision. You know how I knew? I know that Sony knew this was a bad decision, that they should have just scrapped the whole thing. When you got to rob Peter to pay Paul,
Mm.
when you got to raise, you got to be sneaky out here and say, hey, yo, charge us, we need to make up for this money. Hey, charge a little extra $5. They won't even know the difference. They buy them like anyway. Hey, raise the price in Japan, bro. They ain't gonna trip. Raise it up, man. We gotta pay for this investment in this. You knew it was a bad decision. Else I knew why you knew it was a bad decision. I'm gonna use this word for level, just for level. Your professional version of your system has less features than your original system. The PS5 has a disk drive. The PS5 has a stand included. How can you take out included pieces, components, and call it professional? Because you knew it was a bad idea. You was trying your hardest to get this to a price that people can digest. And I'm gonna tell you this: $699 ain't that price. We still ain't digesting that price. That is too high. And not even what makes it worse, and I'm about to be done. What makes it worse? One thing, all the disc drives are sold out now. People got the gist. It's sold out. What made it worse? It is $699 in the UK. You know how much money that is in American dollars?
1,000. Ain't it?
That is $913 in UK money. You got to do all of this to sell this system that no one was asking for. Maybe developers,
I don't
but
think
it
developers.
sure
Was, I
wasn't the
don't think.
consumers.
I don't think developers was asking for this.
But
I'm gonna
developers
tell.
always ask for more power.
I'm gonna tell
Developers
you what
always
I.
ask for more
I'm gonna
power.
tell
They
you what
always
I
do.
think. I think what's going on. But go ahead. What?
No, no,
What? What?
I will open up the floor. The doors of the church is open. I
Keith,
will
I give it
to
to you.
see my point.
All right. The rage, the anger, the vitriol.
I,
So,
mm, 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 mm.
so I wanted to look at this from a different perspective. I wanted to look at it from a different perspective, like Dr. Umar Johnson. I wanted to look at this from a different perspective. I wanted to look at this from a, you say stuff over and over again. I try so hard, but I can't. I can't. I can't look at this from a different perspective. When I saw that they said it, games would still be 30 frames or could be still 30 frames per second, I was like, what's the point?
What's the point?
What is the point? I wanted to be like that guy who was like, okay, this device is clearly targeted toward people who want that extra bump. You know, the regular PlayStation 5, the unprofessional PlayStation 5 is just fine. It works. It still has beautiful graphics. Even the demos that they showed when they were trying to go in and zoom in, it's like, look, it's still Mark Cerny, it's still so much clearer. You see, it's much better. Yada yada yada. Yeah, but the other one still looks good, Mark. I'm sorry, the other one still looks good. Yes, this does look better. We can see it, but it's not enough. It's not $200 more. Um, so when they dropped that price, it got me to thinking, and I got a few questions that I'll bring up. But some of the stuff that this system is doing. But yeah, I can't see them justifying this with the removal of features like the disk drive, and you already know people about to scalp those disk drives
Already
now.
done.
Are they already scalping them? I know they
Oh,
I
it's
know they
sold out.
sold
It's
out.
sold out. It's sold out
Oh yeah,
in Best
yeah.
Buy. Sold out on Amazon.
Yeah, so I don't know. To me, and Nia said it in the chat, we're definitely at the diminishing returns, the point of diminishing returns. But it's like, if that's the case, why even do this? You know, I think at that point, put your games on the PC. And no, I'm not saying PC is the holy grail. You can't build a PC for $699 performing like this PS5 Pro. No, you cannot do it. I'll be the first one to admit it. Playing PC at that level is going to cost you way more. But the people who build PCs are getting into building PCs for a specific reason. Console gamers for a reason. They like low price, easy maintenance. They want to jump into the game. And now for those people who like deal with FOMO, the fear of missing out, it's
Yep.
like those people are like, I'm itching. I want to get the best. And you've shown me that there's a better version of what I already have. I'm going to go ahead and spend that $200. Well, you don't have to, but they're kind of forcing your hand at this point. But I'm not the Sony guy. I don't know. But the few questions I had, and just to kind of linger on the level I want to go, um, should they start subsidizing consoles? Because it looks like the prices, like it's subsidizing in terms of like your phone. Your phones are typically like $900 to $1,100, but you don't feel it because you're only paying a percentage every month when you pay your phone bill. Should they start subsidizing consoles? Does that make sense for video game model now?
You
And then
hitting
it's like
on you
taboo.
going into an area I was gonna go. So
And also the AI driven upscaling, can that be used on the original PlayStation 5? Or are they just locking that away? Like, no, we're not gonna allow the original PlayStation 5 to do the AI driven upscaling. That would be my question. Those would be my two questions concerning this whole thing that Sony's got going on right.
Same
This
architecture.
confusion that they're adding to the mix. I think they finna eat some humble pie. Or people gonna be out here buying it. I don't know, but
It's the
that's what I
same
got.
architecture. They can do it on the PS4, PS5. It's the same architecture.
so okay. So I'm trying to process everything K Bum said in lieu of what you said, Keith, and trying to see where I wanna kind of
Did I
jump
drop?
in at. So I would say first, K Bum, you surprised me. I thought you was gonna go the other way. I thought you was gonna find a way to say this is not bad, but I should have knew because I said it in the chat like he liked it, and it just seemed like you liked it, but I was completely wrong. So let me say this. First of all, the question is why. We got to ask why are they doing this? Why? So their reasoning is one, developers asked, which I question, but let's say they are. You know, you might have those few out there that we need more power, but looking at what's going on with the PlayStation 5 and the fact that they have yet to really utilize that to its fullest, I just question that, right?
Correct.
Then the next thing is you said you was trying to solve an issue between fidelity
Performance.
and performance, and how majority, as you stated, K-Bum, were picking the better option, which is performance, which, I mean, when you play between the two, yeah, you may lose ray tracing, but in the play of the game, do you really care? Do you really care that you can see your reflection in the window when you running that and gunning and shooting and dodging on Drake or Kratos or Ratchet and Clank? At the WoW, you don't care long as it's beautiful and smooth, like you said, K-Bomb. So that brings me to that. I believe those two excuses were just that. Made up, fabricated reasons. I think the real reason is Sony knows that they have created an expectation and they're used to that mid-gen sale to retap, to double dip on their fan base. And I believe the PlayStation 5 is in a situation that is befuddling to them because I think they're reaching a place to where they need either those that are still on the PlayStation 4 to move up, or they need those who own the PlayStation 5 to double dip. And so I think that's the reason. I believe it's getting close to. I don't think it's showing this, but I believe they are projecting this behind the scene. We to continue to see the sales that we need to see. We need to figure out how to get those PlayStation 4 guys to migrate. And it ain't working. Second, all the games that's on the PlayStation 5 still look good on the PlayStation 4. So in order to keep people buying systems, you got to entice K-Bum to buy another PlayStation. See what I'm saying? Like they got to entice you to double dip, to have your PlayStation 5. Man, you need this PlayStation 5 Pro. Now, the question becomes, how do they think they're going to get anybody to buy this? And that's where I'm kind of lost. Like, this doesn't even appeal to me, to you guys, as those are the more professional elite gamers on the PlayStation. To me, this doesn't even appeal to y'all. Because if you're going to buy this, you might as well go ahead and get you a PC. You might as well just step in. So I think they think people are so in love with them that the K-Bum type PlayStation owner will buy it just because it's the best. Like Keith said, it's the best. I can't help it. I'm going to buy it. I think that's what they banking on, and they can show y'all a bigger graphics, and they can throw all these numbers and bring your guy out, Mark Cerny, the Steve Jobs of Sony, to convince you this is worth your while. But I think that price knocked the scales off people's eyes, right? So I think they got a problem going on. The second thing is this puts, and I said this in the chat, my concern is this puts undue pressure on what's next. Because in two fronts, the PlayStation 5 Pro is powerful. It's clearly powerful. You're not charging $699 for no reason. You're charging that because that's as close as you can get to making it affordable for you to make it. It makes sense to make it. So you're doing something that no one is asking for to get power that's too expensive to make it reasonable for anybody other than true hardcore people. And even them are like, no. So now your PlayStation 6 is in a situation now because you got to outdo the PlayStation 5 Professional.
Yep.
Then,
because it's double the power.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
Now it costs $699 with no disc or stand. So that means, and I said this, let me say this, and I think y'all guys can give me credit. I saw Dr. Trey and I saw all the other ones talk about this, but I said this as soon as it was over. They have screwed up the pricing from here on out. How do they price? They make it, how do you go? And I put it up in the chat. The PlayStation 4, $399. PlayStation 4 Pro, $399. PlayStation 4 drops to $299. PlayStation 5, $499. PlayStation 5, still $499. PlayStation 5 Professional, $699. What is the PlayStation 6 gonna cost?
Your house.
That's why I put for sale in the picture. Because Sony is screwing it up to where Keith says, make sense. Like, how do we stay in this? I can't. I'm gonna tell you me now. Not to put anybody out here, but K-Bum, you are blessed financially. You are in a blessed place. I just say it like that, just not to go too far. And not everybody is blessed like that. And even you are questioning this. You see what I'm saying?
It ain't no question.
Right. I'm telling you right now. It ain't that I can't. I got somebody upstairs that, you know, they know I love my gaming. I'm not young anymore. I know at some points they be like, you know, when is this boy gonna grow out of this game? It's just in me, boo boo. I can't let it go. But I can do neither a phone type payment plan, nor can I go out and just drop $800 to $1,000 on my gaming habit. Sony is screwing stuff up with this nonsense of trying to be the most powerful and making leaps that are putting us in a place to where you're gonna outprice the base. You're outpricing the base. Thus, while we say it's just so perfectly set up for Nintendo to come in and say, hey, y'all, let the original show y'all how to do it. Because I'm just looking at this price. $699, no disk drives, which all the professional gamers gonna want. And you got the audacity, the just absolute tomfoolery to not add and say it. Vertical stand sold separately. You're gonna give me a powerful elite system to lay on his side, Sony? You can't even do me the solid to give me a stand. So you are literally scratching nickels and dimes together to get this thing made, and you need every dime from the person who buys this thing.
Bro.
Why are you doing it? For what reason? And then what says to me is you are reaching a threshold, a floor with where you at. You don't see people moving up, so you need people that are already on the PlayStation 5 to double dip, and you're trying to entice them by manipulating them into thinking they're getting something better because the elites will do it. But I think you have just played your cards wrong. You threw your joker out and you cut your partner. Because this ain't gonna work. This is too expensive to justify. And then you raise up the controller. So that means, and I love that haptic feedback controller. And I respect Sony for the fact that they are willing to go all out. But that means that thing is expensive. And you're not getting the sales that you need. That's what it's saying to me. Yeah, it's moving 60. But 60, and what are you making? How much is coming back? You said you sold 60 million PlayStation 5s. Did you sell them at a loss? Are you making profit? If you're not making profit yet, this is a problem because you don't have the games. And your games are too expensive. I think Keith of UK Bum said it. The games are expensive too. Why? Because you had to jump out there to ray traceville and y'all jumped out there, and now we at ray tracing probably before we should have been, and people didn't care. Give me what you told me you was gonna give me, 60 frames per second. No, y'all can't do that. Y'all give us ray tracing to keep us at 30 frames, and learned that people would choose 60 frames 1080p with fluctuating resolutions to keep 60 frames per second, then to jump up to your 30 frames per second ray tracing. So it says, this is what it says to me. All these people who are the loudest are not driving the market. It also says to me And I'm just bringing it in because we clowned them, but I think they made a very wise calculation. Nintendo said we'll stay a generation behind. And it's paying off.
Exponentially.
Because Sony has hit a brick wall. Y'all might as well just make a PC. Y'all might as well just make Alienware. You might as well just go. If you're going to charge $699, no stand, no disk drive, go ahead and give us Alienware and charge $1,200. You might as well. Because who is this for? Go ahead. I leave it at that. So answer my question. I want these questions to be. I just want y'all to try to answer them. How does this affect the PlayStation 6? How do we go back to affordable pricing with what they're doing with the PlayStation 5, knowing that the 6 got to be significantly more powerful? How do we get back to affordable pricing? Have they forever screwed that up? That's my question. Then y'all can go where you want to go.
Yeah, I can quickly jump on that. So no, we're not screwed forever. This is not. It doesn't truly set the standard. It does set some expectation, but it's not. It doesn't put us in a place that it has to be more than this. The example I would use would be the PS5. Sorry, the PS5. Sorry, the PS3 came in hot. So the PS2 came in, I believe, $299 when the PS2 debuted. The PS3 came in at $599, hot off the press. And then the next year, the PS4 was $200 less at $399.
Well, the PS3 did drop down to $299 though. Remember?
It eventually it got down there, but it came hot off the press at $599. That's why I'm saying I do think the market can regulate itself. Okay. I do. I don't think we're forever stuck because there is a point where you price yourself out of your demographic that you're looking to service. Yeah. And I think that's what they will do. That's why, to me, this is the iPhone Pro, right? This is the Pro model. Or the iPad. You still have the regular iPad. You still have the iPad Mini. You still have those versions you can buy. But if you want more, it's at a premium price. So I still see them trying to sell a premium version of the system, if that's what they want, at a higher cost, which will can lead itself to be higher because it is quote unquote a premium price that you're paying. So I don't believe this completely puts the PS6 in the same $600, $700 price range. I believe the market can still regulate itself, but right now inflation is kicking everybody's butt. But I believe it can have an impact, but I do think the market can and will regulate itself. So that's my take on it.
Yeah, I'm hoping. My thing is, like I said, with the technology and them chasing the ray tracing, and it's being such it is a kind of a new feature. I'm just wondering, like, how long should
Do understand it is a 2 terabyte hard drive. Oh, sorry, not hard drive. SSD in the Pro.
Right.
That is expensive.
I know. That's what I'm saying. So
just understand 2 terabytes is expensive.
So it's almost. My bad. No, I was gonna say it's almost like the PlayStation 4 Pro didn't feel like, and I feel like the 5 Pro doesn't either, but it made sense, and it was priced enough that where if you got it, I don't feel like it was out of reason. It literally came in at the same price as the PlayStation 4 originally was.
Right.
Not bad. You paid that for the Pro, the 4, you can play that for the Pro. This seems like new system, a whole new generation territory with pricing. And so it's like, okay, if I go out and pay $699, how long do I suspect to have this before you start talking about 6. How long is this thing going to be a thing before you start trying to talk about your next thing? Or is Sony saying this may be it? And we're trying to get as much as now we can because we at the point of diminishing returns. We're at the point that we can't really honestly afford to make anything else in this form factor that makes demographic marketing sense to put out there because it's going to be too expensive. I'm hoping
do
that
understand. It was 4 years in between the I think
right.
2016, and there was a 4 year gap before they actually came out with the PlayStation 5. So it was
Right.
a 4 year
So that's
gap.
what I'm saying. Is that long enough for $600 to $800? Is that
I
long
don't
enough of
think
a gap?
I think it's going to be a little bit longer.
That's what I'm
This
saying.
way,
I think it's
this
gonna
time
be
around.
longer. So if
I
it's
think it's
gonna
gonna be
be
longer.
longer, let's say instead of 4 year gap, because Nintendo has changed that with the Switch. Nintendo changed that too. We're literally we're pulling on 8 years with the Switch. So Sony them looking at that like, okay, they stay with that. The PlayStation 5 and the PlayStation 5 Pro may be an 8 to 10 year thing. This might be a decade long experience. If that's the case, if 2 years from now the PlayStation 5 Professional is $499, I may give it a look. But this is all wrong for right now for me. But it's not for me. I would never get this system. To hear you say you not interested in all, K-Bum, I knew you was gonna have some problems, but I thought you would still be like, but I may consider getting it. But that was shocking. So, Keith, you got any other thoughts on
But
this?
I would say last point before I pass it on to Keith.
Yeah.
One thing we do know, and we're seeing this with the PC market, technologies become cheaper. Technologies that we have out there, ray tracing is going to be those processors that can graphics card that can run it is going to be cheaper by the time that the next PlayStation comes out. So we
Oh,
do have to understand that technology, just like SSDs, what you were paying through $200 for 500, and now you can get almost 2,000 I'm sorry, 2 terabytes for like $300-400, right? So we
right.
do know that. So that does help on the price as the future comes up. So I did want to leave that piece before I hand it back
Hey,
over.
before you jump on, Keith, K-Bum, share that write up of D2K so I can kind of read over
It's
it.
in our chat.
Okay, I'm finna go.
It's in our chat.
Also, what was I finna say? We got to also talk about the games. You brought up the games that they showed, and that's problematic too. So we got to talk about that before we get out of here. Go ahead, Keith. The floor is yours.
And that's exactly what I was going to bring up. None of this matters until we see the games that make it matter. It's kind of why I've been kind of going so hard on my Switch and just playing games in general, because none of it matters. Like, I love tech. That's why I built the PC. But what Sony showed, it's like I could go do that right now. That's the sentiment. So what they showed was kind of useless in a sense. Because at the end of the day, we do this because we enjoy the games. We want to play games. And this system theoretically is not really making games better. It's not making gaming better. You just put a higher spec device out there. But yeah, I think we should get into talking about the games and what we think they can be able to do. What this system will benefit the games in some type of way, because that's what it's about. That's why I'm really like, I want to see the NS2, but I'm not like, oh, I gotta see it, because I'm still enjoying the games. Like, I'm playing a graphic novel right now. I don't need 60 frames per second for that. but
Nice.
but it's just all about the games, and I think a lot of times we get into the whole competitive talking about it, yada yada yada, and it's like, but are you enjoying the game that you're playing right now? And I don't want to try to come off as that guy. They're like, oh, let's just be kumbaya. No, I like competition as well, but when a company does something like this, and it's a clear like fu to all the people who's bought the original PS5. Like the whole marketing thing was 4K, 60 frames per second, or 4K gaming, yada yada yada. And you say, I got another system that guess what it does? What? 4K, 60 frames per second. Like what we talking about?
Yeah, what you talking about, Willis?
What are we talking about? So I mean, and like going from the PS4 to PS4 Pro, and y'all have already said it, and y'all did a wonderful job at it. It's like it was a clear, obvious upgrade. You going from 1080p to 1440p to 4K in some respects, and then the PS. I don't know. I don't know what Sony's out here doing, but at the end of the day, I stand on this, and I will sit on this soapbox forever. It's all about the games and the games that you're experiencing and having fun with. And I was actually thinking about this the other day. D2K, he was what game? Y'all remember the game that he loved so much? Slime Rancher.
Slime
Slime
Rancher.
Rancher.
That's
Yeah.
not a huge demanding game, but the man loved the game. It's all about having fun.
Yeah,
So
bottom
I'm
line.
off. I'm wasn't muted again.
Okay, so
Nice.
I got D2K's article up. I can't shrink it down to fit all the way in the screen for whatever reason, but I'm trying. But I'm gonna read it so you ain't gonna see all his words. But it says Sony says pro, most say no. That's a dope title. So it says I don't even know where to start with this. I guess I'll start with the reason why there is no logical reason for this console to even exist in the first place. The seventh generation was a weird one, to be sure. It was the most competitive console generation of all time, and it produced some of the greatest games of all time, many of which that have been remade or remastered numerous times. Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo made consoles that were great for the consumer, but all three companies ran into problems at the end. Obviously, the Nintendo Wii holds the champion belt for that era with 101 million consoles sold. But after the motion control craze died out, so did the Wii along with it. Microsoft and Sony were not too far behind with the 84 and 87 million consoles sold, respectively, with the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3. But many mistakes and missteps cost both companies hundreds of millions of dollars in losses despite selling a lot of hardware. As a result of taking such a massive L, both Microsoft and Sony chose to go off the shelf for the creation of the Xbox One and PlayStation 4. This would ensure that profits could be made on the hardware either at launch or within a few months of launch. The downside to that, however, was the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One were already under par compared to where industry standards should have been at the time, or at that time. This is why the PlayStation 4 Pro and Xbox One X, which the Xbox, I just feel so sorry for the Xbox One X, because I believe it was a great system. It just got lost in the sauce. Were necessary. Those mid-gen refreshes were the original version of both Microsoft and Sony for the 8th generation, but those were not risks they could afford to take at the beginning of that generation, either the 9th generation, entering the 9th generation, which started with the Nintendo Switch. Yes, the Nintendo Switch is a 9th generation console. Okay, DJK, you have to read it is a 9th generation console because it came in the 9th generation. It's not about the power, it's about the year. Nintendo Switch is, people, it launched the 9th generation of consoles. It irritates me when people suggest otherwise. Generations are determined by succession, not by power level. Preach! D2K, go ahead and open that Bible up to Nintendo chapter 1, verse 25. Let them know what's going on.
Don't do it. Don't do it, bro.
The Wii was basically on the Wii was basically an overclocked Nintendo GameCube. That's true. That was a little bit more powerful than the original Xbox, but no one calls that a Gen 6 or a 6th gen console, despite the PlayStation 3 and 360 being leaps and bounds more powerful. So let this be the end to that ignorant and ridiculous line of thinking. Obviously, Nintendo chose the blue ocean strategy again with the Switch, and it worked like gangbusters. That's DJK's favorite word for them. Nintendo and Sony this time around took their time to create highly customized hardware with the Xbox Series family and the PlayStation 5 family. Now mid-gen refreshes are not a new thing, as they have been doing long before Microsoft and Sony were doing them in the second generation. Atari, dang, D2K, boy, getting a history lesson. Atari had the 2600 RVCS and then followed up with the 5200. Boy, those are terrible names. What's the 5200? Then with the third generation, they had the Atari 7800. Atari got some big old numbers. What is that? What Sony? I mean, Microsoft got their numbers from?
Numbering system.
Anyway, the Atari XEGSX, I don't know how to even say it, which was a computer/gaming console. In the third generation, Sega had the SG-1000 and the Sega Master System. After that, in the fourth generation, they had the Sega Genesis, Sega CD, and Sega 32X. So this is a movie most of us have seen before, us who've been around long enough to understand this is not new. However, I don't think Sony has watched that movie, because if they had, they would understand that making a mid-gen refresh just for the sake of doing so, thank you, now I've been saying this, or to try and milk more money out of the consumer out of a spirit of greed never works out. The mid-gen refresh in the 80s by Atari pretty much put them in a hole they couldn't come out of. Man, he is preaching. The same thing with Sega. You can even throw Commodore, the Commodore in there as well.
Commodore.
Is that how you say that? Is that the
No,
Commodore?
I'm not hating on Commodore. I'm just the fact that he brought that up in the article.
In there as well with the numerous Commodore and Amiga computers in the 80s and early 90s. Some effect with them. Mid-gen refreshes only work when there is an actual problem that is being solved by more powerful hardware versus an imaginary problem created by the console manufacturers to try to pull a fast one. D2K, let me give you the claps on that. Let me give you the claps on that, D2K. You preaching. Mia, tell him what the Cash App is. He preaching. Go ahead, preach, D2K. I hear the Argus huffing behind you. I listened to Mark Cerny's explanation and justification for the PlayStation 5 Pro. And after listening to that, I feel like I had enough cow manure to plant crops all across America for 50 years. I guess that was his contribution to sustainability. So I'm honestly insulted that they think we are that dumb. Tragically, there are some people out there that are. Being that an Xbox division is collapsing onto itself, and allegedly there was a mid-gen, with the layoff, so he covered it for us, so we ain't got to talk about it. They laid people off again. And allegedly there was a mid-gen refresh for the Xbox Series X called the Elite that they were planning but canceled it wisely. It seemed like Sony think that they can do whatever they want without any consequences. Now an argument can be made that the development studios asked Sony to give them a console that was powerful enough to handle the artistic vision to a point where it can be realized faster, and thus the need for more powerful hardware. But despite all the technical jargon spewed by Cerny, the results were less than convincing, and that is being polite. We are literally just starting to scratch the surface of what the PlayStation 5 can do, because now we are getting away from the cross-gen titles into games built from the ground up on the PlayStation 5. Nothing they show convinced me of why we need this thing. The first problem is that too many of the examples that they showed for the reasons to justify the PlayStation 5 Pro were cross-gen titles like Horizon Forbidden West, Last of Us 2, and Gran Turismo 7. Yeah, that was terrible. Okay. The second problem is that ground-up PlayStation 5 titles like Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart and Spider-Man 2 do not look like they took advantage much of the extra horsepower, other than minuscule improvements in lighting and shadows that in an action-packed game such as those you aren't going to be paying attention to anyway. I literally said that. He's co-signing what I said. Why Sony should have done what Sony should have done is showed us games that were still that we haven't seen yet, that were built from the ground up on the PlayStation 5 with the PlayStation 5 Pro in mind to tell the consumer.
That was my next point.
This is why you need the PlayStation 5 Pro. You know why
If they take the whole year off, if you take the whole year off from dropping first party games, don't you think to sell your next console will be the best time to showcase that year you took off?
Keith,
that's why I'm blown away, bro.
So they can't show what they don't have. They ain't got nothing to show.
Nah, they got some.
That should have been prioritized,
you think
bro.
So? This what we know about Sony. If they got something to show that they feel confident to show, they showing it. I don't think they feel confident. Right. And that's my point. They got it, but I don't feel like they feel like it's at a comfortable stage. Maybe they're gonna show it later. I don't know. But I agree with I absolutely agree with what D2K said. That should have been the strategy, is to show ground up PlayStation 5 games that we haven't seen on the 5, then this is what it looked like on the Pro. That would have been a dope way to sell it. This is why it is worth $700. Sony should have worked out something with Rockstar to show an extended gameplay trailer of Grand Theft Auto 6. I don't think Rockstar want to be tied down to Sony this time around. But you're right. They should have did something. But I got a strange feeling that game gonna be on that Nintendo system.
I wonder if they had just showed gameplay, like let's say they did Wolverine and did some other games, and didn't say anything about a Pro. I wonder how many people would have actually noticed.
Nobody.
And I think that's why they showed
nobody.
I think that's why they did show the older titles, is because I think they think the older titles, you remember how thinking they can trick you by how you remember them looking, and seeing them looking a little bit more shinier, that your brain may do the difference. And maybe they couldn't do that with a ground up PlayStation 5 game because it might not be as different on a YouTube clip. So that's why they kept shrinking back and trying to show it drawn out, and rather because you can't see it. That's why I said I was squinting like, oh, okay, I see what you're saying, Cerny. Look, he is clear over there. That is not enough for $200 more. But anyway, let me see where we at. So, trailer of Grand Theft Auto 6. Sony also should have had at least 2 major, absolutely claps on that, first-party IP games to show off regardless of their stage of development. So he already counted for what I said. He said it don't matter where that. Show them. The last product, show us a CGI. Y'all do that a lot. The last problem is that Sony has already announced the place, and this is what he said in the chat, and this is really making what I'm saying even more an issue. The last problem is Sony has already announced that the PlayStation 5 6 will be coming in 2026. What logical sense does it make for anyone, even the enthusiastic, to invest, Enthusiast. I said enthusiastic. I will slap myself. Enthusiasts to invest $700 into a piece of hardware in late 2024, knowing that the PlayStation 5 or PlayStation 6 is coming in 2 years, especially with no games, no disc drive, no stand, for crying out loud. For $700, you can't even give me a stand. Really, it's $800. It's $799 when you add all that in. If you don't have a PlayStation 5 already, by the time you get through paying for the PlayStation 5 Pro itself, the disc drive, the stand, and the $70 game, plus you're already literally looking at around $930. Add on $5 more for an extra controller. So that's gonna push it up.
$5 more for the controller.
Yeah, so you might well push that on up because you want 2 controllers. That's my household. I gotta have at least 2 controllers. That's $1,000 something for me, depending on your local and state tax rate. I'm not even exaggerating. I'm dead serious. And then you see Kermit the Frog. Oh, there's still more. Okay, so we almost done. Now, no, Sony. No, Sony is tripping on this one for real. This could be one of those moments in history where you look back and say, this is what broke them. $700 is not worth Sony supposedly closing the gap between graphical fidelity and performance. They can miss me with that. The PlayStation 5 Pro seems like a solution to a non-existent problem and an answer to a question nobody asked. D2K be putting that stuff together. I know that they are going to do their own thing when they when they feel like it. But if I was Nintendo, I'd drop the Switch teaser trailer in the next few days. If the Switch 2 has specs that don't measure up to the rumor spec, or if there is some crazy gimmick, the sheer how you say that?
Consternation.
Okay, that's tied me up. Consternation and disgust people have for the that's one of them D2K words. Have for Sony right now will allow you to get away with it. However, they too need to be careful with that price. Most people are thinking $400 and are comfortable with that. Stick with it. So that was D2K article. That was pretty doggone good. If I say so myself. So any final thoughts before we wrap this thing up?
I do want to say his article was everything I said, but I cannot say it the same way D2K can.
Right.
I cannot say it that adequately. I just yelled in the mic for about 20 minutes.
The fact that he brought out real quick was Microsoft, the fact that Microsoft is laying off more in the Xbox division speaks to where we at. Now, at least we can point to Microsoft has bought so much that they're trimming the fat to make it all work. So it's sad, but it kind of comes with the territory of such a big expansion like that, to expand and buy up Activision Blizzard and buy up Bethesda and all that, and now you're condensing it down to what works for you. I understand what they're doing, even though it's sad to see people lose their livelihood. But Sony only bought what's the team that makes Destiny? Bungie. They bought Bungie. And
They bought and Concord, the Concord people.
Well, they screwed that up. So that's just so.
Wait, what was Bungie's like? Was that Bungie's game? Or we haven't seen it yet?
No, we haven't seen it. It's not, that wasn't Bungie game. They haven't came out with it yet.
Okay. So Sony clearly is struggling with first party development. We haven't even they struggling because they didn't even have enough. They didn't even show anything with their new hotness. They didn't have nothing first party new to show. That says a lot to me. So
nothing.
I don't know if this could be it. This may be what they waiting on. They may be trying to hold something back because I think they did know that this wasn't going to land well, but they got to put it out there because they already committed to it. So they put it out there because they committed, knowing that it's going to be a niche product.
Uncommit.
I think they are trying to wait before they start showing their titles to see what Nintendo coming with. That's what I think. I think they trying to hold something to out visual what Nintendo is doing next, because Nintendo is they got the momentum right now. They got all the momentum. Like he said, it's set up perfectly for them to come in and just solicit themselves for another generation. And by development, and this is why I question is Sony telling the truth. With the developers saying they're excited about the Nintendo Switch 2, I know it's not more powerful than the PlayStation 5. So unless the DLSS is what they wanting, or the Spectrum quantum, what is it? The spectrum, what is that they called it? PSSR is a thing. I think they ain't showing any first party titles because they trying to wait to see what Nintendo is showing and then they can come back and show, they bells and whistles because they gonna do that. And people like, ooh, man, But if you show that early, then Nintendo come with a magic, and it may not be the most graphical, but it's artistically like Zelda, Breath of the Wild was, or Odyssey. For whatever reason, it still mesmerized people, even though it's not the same graphically, artistically, and creatively. Nintendo still captivates. So I think Sony trying to wait to show those big guns until after Nintendo showcase whatever they're gonna show. That's a theory of mine. To saving some of their marbles, because it makes, like D said, it makes no sense to have a new system and show old games on it, like old games, not even really relevant games, like what they showed God of War. They showed Horizon Forbidden West, which is a graphical showpiece. They showed Gran Turismo. They showed, what was the Control? What was that game that was floating? I don't know.
Yeah, that's Control. That's Control.
They showed Control. They showed that Souls game.
It was Demon Souls, wasn't it?
Demon Souls and Ghost of Tsushima. Those are all PlayStation 4 titles. Last of Us.
You said Miles Morales already. And so Spider-Man and Miles Morales.
Miles Morales. They did show Spider-Man 2, which was PlayStation 5.
It's PlayStation 5 only, yes.
Yeah, that was exclusive. So I think maybe 2 exclusive games for PlayStation 5 with Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah.
And the rest Spider-Man were PlayStation 4 games.
Yes.
That alone is a dud.
Yeah. I agree.
Keith, last words. You got the last word on one of y'all. Then we'll get out of here.
I mean, I don't have anything left in the tank to say. I mean, y'all. I did notice that they cranked up that contrast in that video. That was the first thing I noticed. I was like, look at this. They finna crank this contrast up. People gonna think it looks so much better. Nah, bro.
Hogwarts. They show Hogwarts.
Hogwarts. They did show Hogwarts.
Yeah, they showed that. But even in the Digital Foundry, they said it already had ray tracing. That's not new.
Yeah, Nintendo got to come. Nintendo is clearly everybody getting out of the way. Nintendo cleared up. Sony's like, let us get on out the way. Let's throw this thing out so Nintendo can go ahead. Nintendo, come on, man. We ready. That's come on, man. Enough is enough. Sony undeflated. Microsoft laying folks off. Come on, Nintendo. Show the gaming world why y'all are the OG. Why y'all the grandpa. Let Mario come and sit down and tilt his crown and say, come here, you young ones, and let me tell you a story. Come on now. We ready. We've been ready. It's 8 years, bro. 8 years. I didn't have gray hairs when I brought this thing. I was 10 pounds lighter. Was my twins born? My twins were 1 year old. They turning you on now. They turn the switch on and play without me asking. Without asking now. They couldn't even do that when I bought that thing. They couldn't even reach it. It's been too long, y'all. Been too long. Man, my car terrible. It's been too long. I need something exciting, man. My
Please
car.
help him.
Help me. Help me. Come on, man.
They out here eating cats and dogs. We need some help, Nintendo.
Yeah. Shoot.
Yeah, a new system. We wouldn't even be out here doing all that.
Man, y'all come on, man. Man, what was I doing back in 2017? Man, I was driving a whole different car. I didn't have my Yukon then. My Cadillac was almost new. Now it's not.
It's time, bro. It's time.
Man.
As a Sony fan, I'm more excited about the Switch 2 than I am with this PlayStation 5 Pro. I'm literally not getting the system, bro. Like it is unless they show me some that's just world changing, which I don't know what they would. And the fact that D2K I guess I forgot the fact that they said the PlayStation 6 was coming out in 2026, which I don't believe is going to happen. I believe
It
that is
can't.
actually not true.
It can't.
I don't think they can. It's not enough time for that Pro to even saturate. Well, I said that wrong. To even make its place in the market for 2 years. It wouldn't be a 2 full years because it comes out in November 2024. And if the PlayStation's coming out, it'd be just 2 years that the Pro. I don't and people are going to stop buying it because the new system coming out unless it's just not that different. Like you could have used that RD for the PS6. I don't see the reason for it. Yeah.
It's a no sell. Look at this dude. Remember he the one to take my money guy? I was laughing when I found that. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna say I like his face. He's like, normally say take my money. Like I'll be keeping my money. We all look like that right now. I think all these pictures is how everybody was feeling. Like, oh man, in this economy, Sony, I'm trying to keep eggs in the house, bro. I'm trying to keep milk. My daughter's got to eat they Cheerios and they cinnamon toast crunch. They need their Roman, man. I can't be giving y'all all this money. Shoot. Hey, man. Anyway, any other thoughts?
I got the money for it and I ain't buying it. I don't give a damn. I use that to go do something else. Give me a new pair of Jordans with that money. Sony ain't getting it.
I mean, I had to step out. I'd probably be having to ask you for a backup plan if I do go buy it, because she gonna
place to stay.
Yeah, she be like, you go up there and play his PlayStation 5 Pro. Well, he's not getting it, boo. Well, then you need to think like he thinks. So shoot, you can go fix your car up. That's what you can do. Go get that rattle fixed.
That demo was at Best Buy.
Yeah, you better go watch YouTube and play all you want of YouTube videos, watching other people play it. You better not bring that thing up in here. Only thing I know I can get, and I ain't gonna get no qualms about, is the NS2, and I'm holding out. I'm trying to slow up on my spending, so when that comes, a lady, significant other knows he gonna get Nintendo stuff. I'm trying to hold out, man, but Nintendo gotta hurry up, man. Nintendo got to hurry up. But anyway, that was the show for tonight. Are you going to buy the PlayStation 5 Professional? Are you going to mortgage your house and sell your car and give some blood? That's what you better go cook some cookies and sell some baked goods, something. Stick a leg out, something. If that thing is not coming cheap, you might not even see but 3-4 of them things in Walmart at one time. It's like this is a niche. They probably won't even have it out there. You got to ask for it. They go in the back. You can walk out with 5 people with that thing. Walk you to the front, handcuffed. Here you go. Sony messed up, man. They jacked this up. This was as about as deflating of an announcement. Mark Cerny and his way he announced it and how they was matched. He born, he deadpan, and this thing is deadpan. I don't think nobody's excited for it. But anyway, we're about to sign out, starting with K-Bum20. Go ahead, bro.
Man, I appreciate you guys giving me the space and the opportunity to go on my rant. I was ready. Like I said, I took notes. I was excited for it. I told the wife about the system, and I got her all hyped up about it and told her I ain't getting it, don't worry about it. But I was I was ready for today, so I appreciate it, man. Thank you for giving me the space and the time.
All right, Mr. Norris, the floor is yours.
Yes, sir. I appreciate everybody jumping in the chat, kicking it with us about the PS5 Pro. Man, I hope everybody has a great weekend. And I got one more thing to say. Dear Nintendo, you tripping. That's all I gotta say.
You tripping.
Man.
Signed, Mario.
Mark Cerny is AI. I think he is. I think he's a computer generated image and just mouth moving to pre-recorded words. Cause that brother was.
You know they can do that now.
I know, man. Look at his eyes, bro. It feel like you just being violated, and you don't know what he violated. You just feel unsafe when he looks at you. And I was like, brother, stop doing that. Move your eyeballs, blink, something.
Wait.
But anyway, I thank all y'all for tuning in on tonight. Nia, Chariot Man. I didn't even see you jump in there, Chariot Man. D2K, great article, D2K. Awesome article. Alan Steve. Who else is up in here?
Matt Jazz.
DJ Fanatic, aka First Name Basis. We had one, Matt Jazz 47. Thank you for tuning in. And all the rest that was here, that was in the background, we thank y'all for tuning in. Don't go give no blood up for this system. Don't sell your house. Take this up for sale sign off your yacht. It's not worth it. Keep your PlayStation 5 and wait for the NS2. It's gonna be budget friendly with a whole bunch of great games. This is the Live and Level Gamers Podcast. Signing out to next time. We will see you on the flip side. Till then, deuces!
We got smashed, bro. But we got smashed, bros, though.